Let me paint you a picture. Two guys, same looks, same income, same gym body. One of them is texting her every 2 hours, checking if she's okay, asking where the relationship is headed after 3 weeks. The other one? He's out with friends, living his life, and responds when he feels like it. Guess which one she can't stop thinking about? Here's the uncomfortable truth. It's not the one who cares more. It's the one who needs her less. And today, I'm going to show you exactly why that is, backed by real psychology, and what you can do about it. Olivia here. Welcome to Her Algorithm. This video is going to break down one of the most misunderstood dynamics in attraction. Why women, almost universally, pull toward men who don't revolve around them. Not because women are cruel or enjoy playing games, but because of how the female brain is actually wired. Here's what we're covering today. First, I'll explain what neediness actually signals to a woman's nervous system. Second, we're breaking down the scarcity principle and why it drives female desire at a biological level. Third, I'll get into dopamine, the brain's reward circuit, and how it connects to the chase. Fourth, we're talking about what emotionally secure detachment actually looks like in real life. And finally, 4 concrete shifts you can make today. Stay with me through this whole video because the last section is where it all comes together. Section 1, the neediness trap. Let's start here. What does neediness actually feel like from her side? Picture this. You meet someone. Things feel good, but within 2 weeks, he's texting you good morning and good night and asking for a recap of your whole day. He wants to define the relationship immediately. He gets visibly anxious when you don't reply fast enough. Does that feel attractive? Or does it feel like pressure? That's the thing. Most men think showing a woman that she matters will make her want them more. But neuroscience tells a very different story. When a woman senses emotional neediness in a man, her amygdala, the brain's threat detection center, registers it as instability. Researchers at the University of Tennessee found that people who display anxious attachment behaviors are consistently rated as less attractive by potential partners, even when other traits are identical. The brain doesn't experience neediness as love. It experiences it as a warning sign. But here's the interesting part. It's not about being cold or indifferent. It's about what neediness signals. When a man needs constant validation from a woman, he's unconsciously broadcasting one thing. My emotional stability depends on your approval. And a woman's nervous system reads that loud and clear, not as devotion, as dependency. Think about it this way. You're watching a movie, and the hero is panicking every 5 minutes, needing someone to tell him he's okay. Does that feel strong? Does that feel like someone you'd want protecting you or building a life with? No, it feels exhausting. That's what emotional neediness does to attraction. It doesn't kill it slowly. It suffocates it fast. Section 2, the scarcity principle. Now here's where it gets really fascinating. In 1966, psychologist Jack Brem introduced a concept called psychological reactance. Here's the simple version. When people sense that something is becoming unavailable, whether it's an object, an opportunity, or a person, they suddenly want it more. You've probably felt this yourself. Someone's always available, always eager, always waiting. It feels fine, comfortable. But then you start to wonder, is there something wrong? Why doesn't he have other things going on? But when someone is genuinely busy, living their life with options and priorities beyond you, something shifts. Your brain starts paying more attention. You start wondering what they're doing, who they're with, whether they're thinking about you. That's not manipulation. That's just how scarcity works on the human brain. Robert Cialdini wrote about this extensively in his groundbreaking book, Influence. Scarcity drives desire because it signals value. We instinctively assume that what's rare must be worth having. And that principle doesn't disappear when it comes to romantic attraction. If anything, it intensifies. Here's the real-world version. A guy who cancels plans because something came up in his own life, without apologizing excessively, without rescheduling immediately, triggers something in a woman's mind. Curiosity, a slight unease, a subconscious question. Does he actually need me? Or am I one of several options? That question is not a bad thing. That question is the beginning of desire. Compare that to the guy who rearranges his entire week around her schedule, who's always available, who makes her feel like the center of his universe from day one. She doesn't wonder about him. And when a woman doesn't wonder, she doesn't pursue. Most men think being the reliable, always available guy makes them look secure. But what it actually signals is scarcity of options. And low scarcity equals low perceived value. Every time. Section 3. Dopamine and the chase. Okay, this one might change how you think about attraction entirely. The female brain, just like the male brain, runs on dopamine. That's the neurotransmitter associated with anticipation, reward, and craving. And here's what most people don't know about dopamine. It doesn't spike when you get the reward. It spikes in anticipation of the reward. The uncertainty, the almost, the not quite yet. Back in the 1950s, behavioral psychologist B.F. Skinner discovered something called variable ratio reinforcement. When rewards come unpredictably, sometimes yes, sometimes no, never on a set schedule, the desire to pursue them becomes almost compulsive. It's the same psychology behind slot machines, and it works on human attraction just as powerfully. When a man is perfectly consistent, perfectly available, perfectly predictable, there's no dopamine spike, because the brain already knows the outcome. There's no anticipation. And without anticipation, attraction plateaus. But when a man is present but not hovering, warm but not clingy, interested but visibly complete without her, her brain starts chasing the variable. Does he like me? He seemed interested earlier, but now he's focused on his work. Did I say something? Or is he just that secure? That internal questioning is dopamine doing exactly what it's designed to do. It's keeping her engaged, curious, and emotionally activated around you. Now, and this is critical, this is not about playing mind games. This is not about being artificially distant or sending mixed signals on purpose. That's manipulation, and it backfires. What I'm describing is a man who is genuinely complete. He has his own goals, his own social life, his own standards. He doesn't orbit her. She becomes one important part of a full life, not the whole sky. That's the distinction. Manufactured scarcity is a trick. Genuine abundance is a lifestyle. Section 4. What secure detachment actually looks like. Here's where I want to slow down, because this is the part most people misread. Non-neediness does not mean being cold. It doesn't mean ignoring her. It doesn't mean pretending you don't care when you do. That's not confidence. That's a performance, and she will see through it. Secure detachment looks like this. You're on a first date. It goes great. You text her once the next day, something genuine, not a paragraph-long analysis of the evening. She doesn't reply until the next morning. And instead of spiraling or sending a follow-up, you just go live your life. That's it. That's secure detachment. Not because you're playing it cool, but because you genuinely have things to do, people to see, goals to work toward. The reply isn't the center of your day. Here's the psychological reason this works. Attachment theory, developed by John Bowlby and expanded by researchers like Hazan and Shaver, shows that women are most attracted to men who display what's called secure attachment, the ability to connect deeply without becoming emotionally dependent. Research consistently shows that securely attached men are rated as more attractive, more trustworthy, and more desirable for long-term relationships than both anxious and avoidant types. Secure attachment sends a very specific signal. It says, I want you, but I don't need you to function. And that combination, genuine desire without desperation, is the most attractive thing a man can project. Think about the last time a woman was genuinely drawn to a guy. Not just politely interested, genuinely unable to stop thinking about him. I bet that man had his own momentum. He wasn't sitting at home waiting on her. He had somewhere to be, something he cared about, a life that didn't pause for her approval. That's what secure detachment produces. Not distance. Pull. Section 5. 4 practical shifts. All right, let's make this actionable. 4 things you can shift today. Shift 1. Stop over-communicating early on. In the early stages of attraction, less is genuinely more. You don't need to text her 3 times a day. You don't need to leave every conversation open-ended so she keeps replying. Make contact meaningful, not constant. One well-timed, confident message does more than 10 anxious ones. Shift 2. Build a life she has to fit into, not one that fits around her. This is the big one. If you have goals, friendships, fitness habits, and interests that exist completely independent of her, she will feel that. She will sense that your life is full. And a full life signals a high-value man. When she becomes part of a great life rather than the reason for it, the dynamic shifts entirely. Shift 3. Let some things go unanswered. Not every text needs a same-minute response. Not every plan needs to be rescheduled immediately when it falls through. Comfort in silence, in gaps, communicates that you are emotionally regulated. You're not anxious. You're not tracking her responses like a stock market. That kind of stillness is deeply attractive because it's rare. Shift 4. Have standards and enforce them quietly. Men who need women too much accept behavior they shouldn't, and women feel that. When you have standards, things you won't tolerate, energy you won't chase, and you enforce those without drama or ultimatums, you signal self-respect. And self-respect is the foundation of every quality a woman finds attractive in a man. You don't have to announce any of this. You just have to live it. So here's the bottom line. Women aren't attracted to men who need them less because they're heartless. They're attracted to those men because the brain is wired to value what feels scarce, to pursue what sparks uncertainty, and to trust what looks stable. Neediness signals dependence. Non-neediness signals wholeness. And wholeness is the most magnetic thing you can bring to any relationship. You don't chase her validation. You build a life worth validating. That's the shift. If this hit differently than you expected, drop a comment below and tell me. Which one of these 4 shifts do you need to work on most? And if you want to go even deeper into female psychology and attraction, watch this video next. The signs of attraction women show when they don't want you to know they're interested. It's directly connected to everything we covered today. Olivia here. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one. Cheers.